Welcome. You've splash landed into this Prosecco-laden podcast, straight into the woo-woo pool with the crew of Ohm-g. We're just a simple group of tragically imperfect and highly empathic BFFs, exploring a wide range of atypical topics with humor, grace, and curiosity. This is Ohm-g. Welcome. We're all in sync today, and that's kind of the topic. Synchronicities, or synchronicities as we call it. So pull up your bra straps, it's time to talk. You're here with the crew of
Ohm-g, the podcast. Welcome back, everybody. Unfortunately, we are short one member this recording date. Mr. Aaron is not able to be with us, but we do have one of our Super Witch fans here with us today.
Hey, y'all.
And we're super excited. We've got the Miss Shanda Venditto with us today, and we're so happy to have her. She's become fast friend and wonderful member of our community, and we're so grateful to have her with us to talk about the synchronicities.
Thank you. Thank you.
Excellent.
And every time she introduces herself, it's Shanda, like a chandelier.
Not to be confused with chandelier, because they're right here together.
Right. Side by side.
Side by side.
Yes. And so today, this is Lynn, by the way, if you can't tell from my accent. So today we're going to talk about some synchronicities, and I'm going to kick it off because I have a big one that happened. And actually, when it started, Shanda was at my house for her Reiki class. It was one. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Reiki 1.
Yep.
So this is just how the universe works and it unfolds. And I think it's a beautiful thing. So in May, on May the 11th, to be exact, I was teaching a Reiki class. And there was a woman who I won't call her name because I don't have permission. But anyway, she was telling me for whatever reason, there's a bar you need to go to. And like, there's somebody there you're going to meet. And she was making it sound like it was a man. And I was like, no, thank you. No, nada. So I just kind of let it go. And I laughed about it. And I think I told the whole crew about it. Like, oh, this woman's trying to get me to go to a bar to meet a man. And I was like, mm-mm.
And we were like, has she met you?
And,
Does
you
she
know,
know?
yeah, I'm not the bar sitting type. Like if I'm going to go to a bar, it's going to be with, my woo crew friends or something. We're going to go have a drink and then we're going to go to dinner or whatever. But
We're going to do something more civilized than go pick up men at a bar.
yeah, that's just not my thing. So I just kind of let it go and then roll out to October. Now it's November. Is it today November? I don't even know.
Today is November.
It is November. So in October, I had a girl, I think it was October she came in. Do you even know, Brenda?
I don't even remember, girl.
Yeah, because I don't remember either. Oh, so anyway, there was a girl who saw Brenda. Can we say her name?
I think we can say her first name.
Hey, Sherry.
Hi, girl.
Hey, girl, hey. So Sherry had went to, 3, 4, or 5 psychic mediums, and she found Brenda through one of those people. And Brenda was like, no, girl, no, I think you need to go see Lynn and have an Akashic record reading. So she schedules, she comes over, and I find out that the bar that this girl was telling me to go to was the bar that this lady owned. And not only that, my landlord also owns the space that she has her bar in. And so we have this whole conversation. We're both mind blown. At the end of the conversation, she says to me, do you know a girl named Molly? I think I need to have a reading from her. And I saw her on your page. And I was like, I don't know her. I've seen her stuff, but I've never met her. And I said, I cannot believe that I hadn't met this girl because the circles that we all run in, we tend to meet people. And the next day, that girl messaged me and it was kind of really funny. And so we don't know where it's going to go from here, but that's a lot of things to have to fall into place.
Yeah, there's a lot of connection there and synchronicities that I think are going to be explored over time, because I feel like she's a very strong personality.
Yeah.
And she's here to tell people what to do.
And she can.
Yeah, and she can.
She's good at, she's a Virgo.
Is she a Virgo? That's right, she is. Yeah.
As we all look at Cam.
It's kind of what we're meant for, and I don't take it lightly, for the record.
Yeah.
But every time because we've talked about that particular situation a couple of times because stuff keeps adding on to it.
Mm-hmm.
And every time we talk about it and every time like the next thing happens, I get this feeling of like, oh, that ain't it.
Yeah, it's
like
big.
it doesn't feel done.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you know, like you said, now Sherry's coming to our Wednesday events. She's becoming more and more kind of ingrained in our community. I mean, fitting in marvelously, by the way. So it's like it keeps expanding and expanding, and it's like I kind of am really curious to see where it's going to go from here because it doesn't feel finished.
It's not done. It's not finished. I just don't know. It's like I'm just waiting on the next door to open.
Well,
right.
And it's kind of like I kind of have that feeling of like I just need to get the popcorn and sit back because this is going to be a fun one. You know, that kind of
the Prosecco.
Yeah, well,
either one.
Know.
Love both.
You do.
Yeah.
You do you, boo.
We can do both at the same time. That's true.
You fit in seamlessly here.
Yeah, I think there's a bigger purpose with all of us meeting each other. And I don't know exactly what it is yet, but I got that in one of my readings with her that we're all going to be, and she feels the same way. We're going to be working together in some way. I just don't know what it looks like yet.
Yeah. I actually went down to her bar last week. And I was taking her something back from the Halloween party that I had, y'all.
Whoop, whoop.
It was lit.
It was lit.
Oh, yeah.
It was a lot of fun. So I went and sat with her for about an hour or so, and we had a great conversation. And there was still more things that even came out. I think one thing is she was talking about the number 16, and I started laughing, and I whipped my phone out. This is something I forgot to add. And I showed her the picture that I had taken of my, what do they call that little thing, odometer in the car? It was 16160.
Huh.
Of course it was.
Of course it was.
How interesting.
And we were talking about the crows and like this crow. I mean, it was like the weirdest thing ever. So something's coming about. We just have to trust the great unfolding.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's sometimes the hardest part. Like, do you find as being a intuitive person that trying to get your own messages is the hardest thing ever? Mm-hmm. Like you can read for other people and get messages for them, but then when you're like, okay, spirit, what's next? They're like, oh, you're just going to sit there and wait.
I think it's hard to
flash
be
lights in front of your face and you go, well, it'd be really nice if I knew what that meant.
Right.
Yeah. And they're like, we'll tell you in time.
Right.
I guess.
or it's just you rest for now. You're in a resting phase.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I'm so tired of hearing that.
I don't want to rest.
I know.
I want all the deets right now.
Yes, immediately.
Well, if you could just tell me what I need to expect in like 3 or 4 months, then I could rest. Then I could lay my head down. But
absolutely.
I think you just got to keep working toward it. I think that's why they don't tell you. I think because if they told you,
you would take action that you don't need to take right now.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Before it's ready.
Yeah. And so you just have to keep working towards it. So whatever's coming, I'm ready for it.
It's like taking the bread out of the oven before the bread's ready and it just falls down.
Yeah. And that's, nobody likes limp bread.
No, nobody likes limp anything, to be honest with you.
Okay, writing that down. Quote of the episode.
Not to rein these lovely women back in, but you've heard it said before that when you start to notice synchronicities and you start to notice all the numbers and all the coincidences, that is when supposedly the universe has your back and things are being laid out and smoothed out for you. That's what they say.
Right. Mm-hmm. Well, it's to me, it comes across as it's kind of like a comfort type thing because it's like no matter what, everything else in your life can be. I don't want to say falling apart, but like you can have a little blow up over here, and this just doesn't feel like it's going the way you want it to, and this feels like it's going really well, but then you're like, well, why is that going well, and this thing over here is not. But then, like, like we were doing yesterday, everybody was seeing 111. Everybody it was like every hour on the hour, somebody was like 111, 222, 333. I know I had seen 555 at least 10 times the whole past week. And it meant a lot to me because I know 555 is like the first number sequence I noticed that started me on my path to trying to develop my intuition and things like that. So isn't
that also your birth time, Kachanda?
Yeah, 555 is my I was born at 5:55.
Oh,
So
interesting.
So it's a very special
Mhm.
number to me.
Mhm.
So to me, that's just kind of like, yeah, we see that blowing up over here, but 555, honey. 555, that. I mean, just it kind of almost. I don't want to say it. This is not exactly how I mean it, but like, so you don't lose faith, so that you don't just like kind of
All
like,
is well.
yeah, all is well.
Mhm.
555, babe, we got you. Yeah, we see what's going on, and we understand. We know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting because yesterday I was like, I think I'm just going to quit all the spiritual stuff. I'm going to do the podcast.
The hell you are.
I'm going to do the podcast because that's fun. I can hang out with my friends.
I've been there for 3 months. I've been in that same place for 3 months.
I'm going to shut down my website. I'm going to unsubscribe to Zoom. I'm just going to like forget about all that right now. I'm just going to do my fun stuff with my friends. And then we get all those numbers yesterday. And I'm like, God damn it.
No, girl, no. That's what you're getting.
Mm-hmm.
It's so frustrating because this is totally going off topic. But as you know, on your spiritual journey, if you've been on it for a while, it feels like sometimes you're just crawling.
Mhm.
And sometimes it feels like you're not even crawling. You're just like stuck
Stagnant.
in the
Well,
mud.
and
Crawling
in
on glass.
the fetal position,
Exactly. Yeah.
waiting for the next thing.
Yeah. So I don't know what's next, but I'm still here.
I feel like a lot of that too is collective.
Mm.
Like I'm trying to like keep the ship in the lane, moving forward until like some of this collective chaos, for lack of a better word, settles down a little bit. And then like, well, do I still feel that way? Or do I not feel that way as much or whatever? But yeah, I've been in the same place. On a lighter note,
I'm smelling perfume,
Are you really?
and it smells like
girl, it's me. I smell divine.
it's probably you. It smells like Gloria Vanderbilt.
Really?
And it's so strong over here. Like I like lifted my shirt up. I was like, I don't wear perfume.
I don't either. Is anybody in here wearing perfume?
I'm wearing perfume, but not Gloria.
I didn't
Well,
smell
I don't
you when
think
you
you're
came in.
you're not
either.
sitting close enough to me to
Mm-mm.
be smelling. Yeah,
I wore this top last night and I didn't put any perfume on today, but it's on my top, but it's not very strong.
but you're not. No,
No, you're not close enough.
You're not near me. Like it smells like somebody has a chloroform rag in my face, but it has like perfume on it. It's so strong.
okay, we
Somebody
Hair
must be here
glacé
with us.
lotion for me, but that's it.
That's not it.
we need to tune into that later.
Yeah, figure out who's in
Feels
here.
like an older woman,
Mm-hmm. It does.
grandmother type energy.
Yeah, I don't know who it is, but it's
Okay.
strong. Somebody
Well,
up in Brenda's attic besides us.
That's not the first person that popped into my mind.
We're not even near the portal right now, so
Yeah.
Oh.
I was talking about her yesterday.
I was thinking about her whenever I went to bed last night, and I felt like she was in the room with me.
Hmm.
Lillian Kaufman from the Falling Waters
Falling Water.
house. I feel like she's
Oh.
connected to us now after that
And
trip.
I told 2 people about her yesterday we went to like a little vendor fair and we were talking about things. And I was like showing them her picture with the
Oh.
bees. And when you said Gloria Vanderbilt, I mean, that's just how my neurodivergent mind works. It was like the first thing I thought were the Vanderbilts, Biltmore House,
Right.
big houses, architectural things,
affluent people.
affluent families,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. And then you said that and I was like,
And I felt like she was in the room with me last night as I was trying to fall asleep for an hour.
and she was so strong with us in Pennsylvania. And that episode just came out this week. And
Yeah.
she
Like-
hitched a ride home.
Yeah.
she was in the room
It
with us
could
when
be
we were
her.
recording.
Yeah.
And that was the last time we recorded till now.
That's true. So it must be she's like, it's like she's shoving it up my nose. Like my nose is like,
She's like, I'm here, Lynn. I'm here. I'm here for you.
no, I don't need that.
You don't need
She
no
knew
Gloria Vanderbilt.
Gloria Vanderbilt. Who
Maybe. You
knows?
never know. You
true.
never know. So
Interesting.
Yeah.
Back to synchronicities.
Right.
I had a very sweet one, little tiny little mini titty happen last night.
An A cup event.
An A cup event. But yesterday was mine and Jason's 11th anniversary.
Oh, happy anniversary.
And so we went out to dinner and we went to this like really nice steakhouse and everything. We're sitting there and they're playing lovely music. I mean, I can't remember other songs that they played, but I kept sitting there going, oh, I love this song. Oh, that's a great song. Oh, I haven't heard that in forever. And then all of a sudden they start playing our first dance song.
Oh.
And I'm mid drink and I look at him and he looks at me and he goes, Aw.
Oh,
What a puppy.
how sweet.
What's the song?
Awesome.
Etta James, At Last.
Nice.
Oh, how sweet.
I love that so much.
But I mean, that's not like, I mean, you think music in a restaurant.
Uh-huh.
That's not what you're going to expect to. Yeah. But it was really sweet.
I
That
love
is
that.
sweet.
I have one from many, many years ago.
Yes.
I want to say it was probably 1990 or 1991. And I went to see a medium, and she was amazing. She was in Baltimore, told me a lot of stuff. But the whole time during our session, she kept saying, they are asking me how Michael is. How is Michael? Is Michael okay? Is Michael happy? And she just kept insisting that they kept asking her this. And I'm like, I have no idea who you're talking about. Not at all. So in I don't know if it was 91 or 92. I got married in 92, but I don't know if it was 91 or 92. I took my husband there, and I'm like, this woman is like amazing. Well, actually, let me back up. Prior to that, when I met him, I sent her a letter, and I said, I think I've met him, because she was telling me some things about him prior in that very first session. So everything was like spot on about him. So anyway, I'm like, you have to meet this woman. So he went in by himself, and then I went in after. And when he gets back in the car, I'm like, so how was it? He goes, she kept calling me Michael. The whole session did not use his first name, Rocco. It was Michael. Right? So bizarre. But my son's name is Michael because of that event. My husband named him Michael.
Wow.
Yeah.
That feels like past life. She was tapping into.
She was seeing him. I feel like she and he had a past life together.
Yeah.
She was tapped into.
She was tapped into.
Father Miguel. He was Father Miguel in one of his past lives.
Oh.
Yeah.
Little soul contracts popping up.
I love that.
Pop, pop, bitches.
That's a good one.
That is a good one. I love it.
I
love
do
it when stuff
love
like
that. Yeah. Anybody else? Because I got another big one.
I know you got a big one. I want to hear it. I want to hear it.
And this one actually involves Camille's mother, and who's now my mother.
She everybody's mama.
Yeah.
She's officially adopted 5 more, but we digress.
Yeah. And this is how you know that all of us are supposed to be together. Okay. So Camille, the first time I met her mom, was that Lisa was with us, right?
Yes.
Okay. So let's just go with that one first. Lisa Lucario, who y'all remember from our episode in Pennsylvania. Lisa and our birthday twins, we were born 4 hours apart. Our birth charts, 95% the same. That doesn't happen.
That's crazy.
That's
Call me blessed.
You are.
Are you?
You're so blessed. So blessed. Poor Cam. I talked to her for like 6 hours straight in the car, but whatever.
It was wonderful. Go ahead.
Aries energy. Okay, so that day, like Camille's mother was in town as well, and we walked in my house. We were looking in my back room, which I refer to as my witch room. We were standing at my ancestor altar, and her mom starts talking about a dog that they have in her family, and the dog's name is Louise Wallace. That's my mama's name.
Whoa.
I know, right?
That's my mama's dog.
And that's her mama's dog, Louise Wallace. And I was like, wait, what did you just say? And she's like, Louise Wallace. And I'm like, that's my mama. While we're standing at my ancestor altar, she's telling me this story. And I was like, damn, man, that's crazy.
Who names a dog Louise Wallace? My family, that's who.
And who names it after my mother that they've never met? Okay, so then I was like stunned with that. But then Cam's mom was just in town.
Well, before you go there, that's one of the things I want to say about these synchronicities. Like, we can say them now and tell the story, and it's like, well, she named the dog Louise. It's no big deal. It's the feeling you get in the moment when it's happening is when you know this means more than just somebody named a dog Louise.
Yeah.
This means more than just a song playing in a restaurant. This means more than somebody guessed a name. You get that feeling of knowing of like, I need to pay attention to this because it's going to mean something. If not right this second, then sometime in the future. So I just want to say that part of the whole thing about synchronicities is it's not necessarily so much the thing that's happening as the feeling you get while the thing is happening.
Yeah.
You just know it's bigger than.
Yeah. And
Right.
it's bigger than like her mom's last name is my mom's maiden name. Like, how crazy is that? First of all. So anyway, Cam's mom was just in town. She came in for the Halloween party, which was totally fun. So the next day, Cam's friend, LB, and her mom, they all come back to my house to help me clean up because it was a wreck. But I also did readings for both of them. And so Cam's mom and I went in the living room and shut the door so we could have some quiet. And so I said, okay, so what is your name? What's your full name so I can get into your records? Y'all want to know her middle name is Lynn?
No.
Is it really?
Of course it is.
Sure is.
Of course.
Yep.
Of course it is.
Wow.
How crazy is that? I was just like, okay.
Didn't your mom come in and like
Yes.
light up
okay.
the moment for you
Yes.
that made you ask?
Yes, I
Yeah.
totally forgot that. That morning before y'all got there, I was washing up some dishes and my mom came in the room, like from the spirit world. And I was like, what are you doing here? And she was just showing me that this was like, quote unquote, normal and that it was okay. I don't know quite how to say it. It was more of a feeling that she was giving me that it was okay to like admire Cam's mother. And because my mom, she did the best she could. Like she did. She had a horrible life and it was whatever, but
It was what it was, and she did what she could do with it.
exactly.
Heck yes.
And so, she had a hard time like being a full-time mother.
Right.
Mhm.
And Cam's mother, not like that.
Well-
because she's an Aries like me. Oh, yeah. And that's right. Cam's mother's an Aries.
Also an Aries. But just to put even a little bit more perspective on that, we haven't been very close-lipped about our familial issues on this podcast. And,
Yeah.
and Brenda and I have shared, a lot of stuff about, like having to pre-grieve things because
Mhm.
you get to a point where you realize even though people are still alive, it's never going to be what you wanted or needed or thought it was going to be. And
Yeah.
you got to let that stuff go. And there we stand with sweet Robbie, who calls Cam on a Tuesday night with the party coming up on Friday. And she's like, I'm going to use some frequent flyer miles and I'm going to just fly in and I'm going to come to your party and visit with your friends. Cause I don't want to be left out. And we're like, oh my God. Just
Yeah.
like what a supportive.
That's the mama.
And
That's what
it-
she does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we were all, a little jelly, kind of. Yeah. But in awe of, okay, that relationship does exist.
Mhm.
That
Right.
relationship
Yeah.
is out there. So I can see why your mom would be like,
Embrace it.
it's okay to give that reverence to that relationship because she was acknowledging like,
Yeah.
I wasn't able to do that. And now you're seeing that does exist and that's fine.
Yeah. And she came, and I can't remember now because when I go into the records, it's like I get amnesia. And so, but she did come in while I was reading. I remember her coming in when I was reading for Robbie. It was just like she was just being supportive of the connection.
Yeah.
That's a good way of putting it. She was supportive of the
That's
connection.
precious.
Yeah, it was precious.
And I will say this about Lynn's readings. Both my friend LB and my mother came out of there just boo-hooing, but
Aw.
from a joyous place.
Yeah.
So, little plug. Go ahead, Brenda.
Definitely.
I like to make people cry.
Aries.
One way,
Aries, one way or the other.
Happy cry.
Or another.
Exactly.
It's your choice.
Right?
Or if I have to peel some lemons, either way, whatever.
Yeah, so I was trying to think of synchronicity stories, and I only have one that I can come up with in my brain right now because I haven't really had time to think about it. But the one with Sherry was like, that was a big one.
Yeah, because you were involved in that.
Yeah, and I saw how much like you guys need to meet, and then how I don't know how this is all going to play out, but how everything's going to play out. But I have one little quick story. When I met my current fiance, Michael.
Another Michael.
Yeah.
And I call him Miguel, but
Yeah.
go ahead.
So I had gone to the local area watering hole up here with a group of friends for like a girls' night to do, I don't know, I think it was Half Price Wine Wednesday. I mean, who amongst us has not gone to one of those?
And why would we not?
Right? And so I go in there and this is like I live in a small town, so there's not many people. there's one guy sitting at the bar and he's got a dog. And y'all, I'm a sucker for a dog. And I wasn't even interested in like talking to a man. I was just going to go by and talk to the dog.
She's like, can I pet that dog?
Yeah, can I pet your dog?
Can I pet that dog?
So I petted his dog and we talked for a little bit. And we actually had a fairly long conversation for just meeting each other. And I was like, yeah, I've got 4 kids. And he was like, 4. And I was like, yeah. And next thing I know, he's gone. Just gone. He just bounced
Wonder
on
what
out
it
of there.
was.
Weird.
He's
She
like,
pinched the dog.
he's like, come on, Fido. This place
Four
is not
kids,
for
I'm
us.
out of here. So,
Fertile Myrtle's looking at me, y'all.
right.
He's like, I got a dip.
So 3 weeks later, I was trying to get some of my friends to come up there to the same place. So we're going to have live music. I thought, oh, we'll have a little friends night out. And it was snowing. So Camille was the only brave one from Houston in her Prius.
There's no hills in Houston. I'm going to throw that out there, but go ahead, Brenda.
So proud of you.
So it's snowing out there. Camille's the only person who showed up. And she and I are sitting there. And I turn around and he's behind me.
Hmm.
And he's doing his little wave. It was hilarious.
Of course he is.
And that was that. We talked and we went home our separate ways. And he texted me to make sure I got home okay. And now look at me.
Oh,
Oh, that's sweet.
I know.
Awesome.
It's really sweet.
That is
so
really
it'll be
sweet.
7 years in February that we met. It was
Mhm.
2018.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was just a little synchronicity that he would show back up again. Like it was meant
Right.
for us to
Mhm.
So-
to come together.
Scared, not scared.
How long
Yeah.
was it after the two of you met before you like started talking about moving in together and
It was over a year.
over a year?
Yeah.
Because so when I met you, it wasn't very long after you and I first met that you and Mike started talking about like taking that next step. And I remember, I don't know if this is like synchronicity or not, but we were doing our Wednesday night, like, well, I mean, that's kind of how this podcast started is we had a group of friends and we would all get together like every other Wednesday night and we would just do intuitive development stuff. Like we would just play with the oracle cards
And laugh our asses off.
Right. But just like sharing the power, just like sit in the power with each other and try to develop our intuitive gifts. And one of the things that we used to do is everybody would write down a question or a name or something on a piece of paper and we'd draw them out of hats and just sit there and hold the piece of paper and try to get an intuitive message, not knowing what was written on the paper and not knowing who wrote on the paper and just try to get intuitive messages. And this was at least like 6 years ago. So this was right after I'd started trying to open my intuition. And as a channeler, I don't hear much. I don't see much. I don't like sitting in the quiet is the least impressive way for me to get a message.
I got you.
We've had that conversation.
Right there with ya.
We've had that conversation more than once. And so all I kept seeing was the face of a grasshopper. And it was the side, like in profile, the side of the face, and it was kind of sepia toned, almost like black and white, negative sepia toned ish. And it was just, it wasn't even that the picture I saw really made sense. It was just, I knew what it was supposed to be. Like it didn't really look like that, but I knew what it was supposed to be. And so when it came around, I read the paper and I was like, well, I'm sorry, Brenda, I didn't get very much. All I saw was a grasshopper. Sorry. Hope that means something. Maybe you had a grasshopper as a pet as a kid. I don't know, but take it for what it's will. That's what I got. Well, then of course, as one does, when you get home, you start Googling spiritual meaning of grasshopper. And it was like, take the jump.
Mm-hmm.
You're ready, jump. And I was like, oh, spirit. Oh, I did get a message.
Right?
I did get a message. Yeah.
That's awesome.
All right. Well, is that all we got?
I mean, don't ask me because I can talk till the cows come home.
Right.
There's a part 2, a part 3, and a
Oh,
part
yeah.
4 just waiting out there. Y'all.
Yeah.
We have lots of synchronicities.
And please, if you guys have synchronicities that you want to share with us, please put them in the comments. Come see us on the social medias.
Email us, support at Ohm-g podcast.com. We'd love to hear your stories too. Maybe we'll even share some of them on the next
Yeah.
episodes.
That'd be fun to do.
That would be fun to do.
Read some listener
Mhm.
stories. All right. Well, you guys have a lovely, lovely day, and we'll talk to you soon.
Look for those synchronicities, y'all.
Yes.
Every day.
Peace out.
The big
Ciao,
ones and
ciao.
the little ones. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you for joining us today. Please follow and subscribe to our podcast on Apple, Stitcher, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, and leave a review. It's so easy to do and such a huge help for us. We appreciate your interactions so much. Want to join us at our table? Make sure to check out our YouTube channel and join our Facebook community. If you've enjoyed this content and wish to support us, take a look at our Patreon page. All information and links will be in our podcast description. Catch you next time.
This podcast is part of the Sound Advice FM network. Sound Advice FM. Women's voices amplified.